he could have come in there and fucked some shit up.
I don't know. I think the quality of especially college sports is going to change drastically. Like if you know the NBA right now is like one and done.
Yeah.
And Adam Silver's talked about how he might just get rid of that pretty much because it's not a good system. If the NFL ever did that, where you had all your talent pretty much being like how baseball drafts talent straight out of high school and then they just go up through the minors, you know? If the NFL ever moved to doing that, the quality of college football would drop enormously because all those players that were, good enough to play would already be in like a developmental league. They wouldn't be playing.
That'd be cool for, we'd have one of those teams.
Yeah. Down here, yeah.
We can hang now.
I think it should be, I think the same rules for college football should apply to college basketball. 3 years. Make them do 3 years there. It's going to bring back a different, better, I guess someone will call it a slower game of basketball because, these guys are zipping around the court now and kind of like more fast break type style, Phoenix Suns in like the early 2000s and stuff like that type of basketball. And, doing 1 year and then going to the next level. Now, if you make them do 3 years, someone's going to have more likely a chance to get hurt playing that quickly and stuff like that. So it's good. People are going to start playing smarter. It's going to be more, it's not going to be the fucking Harlem Globetrotters. We're going to be the Generals. Okay, we're going to do regular bounce passes, maybe a layup, a couple of dunks here and there.
The fundamentals.
Yeah, because that's what it's gone now. AAU ruined basketball forever. AAU is why we have 3-point contests every game. I'm sorry, that's fucking boring. I want to see someone put the ball on the fucking ground, shake the fucking shit out of somebody, and then dunk it and put their nuts clean in fucking whoever that center is right in his fucking face. That shit does not happen anymore. You might have one slasher, but everyone else is... The fucking power forward is shooting threes. Where the fuck do we live? Is this Europe?
Right.
Like, what is going on?
Or you have the locomotive that just drives the lane
that's what I
every
want.
single
I want the guy in the lane who's gonna put a fucking elbow in your ear and then yam it. That's like, I'm sorry. Don't y'all miss that? Like,
you're talking power forward specifically or just...
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, if my big man is gonna be a dog, if I was sitting here like a GM and I had to put a team together, my big man is gonna be a bruiser.
Who would you pick?
Is that your first priority over a point guard?
Who'd you pick right now?
Center. What?
Who'd you pick right now?
Like, just all-time players?
If you were putting a team together right now and there was just a draft, and you had the first pick overall of the draft, you would prioritize you would prioritize big men.
Shaq in his prime.
Who would you put?
And I'm going all-time?
I don't know if we should do it all time or if we should do it current players.
Yeah, all time.
All time? All right, all time.
Yeah, Shaq. Number one.
Yeah,
Number one.
Shaq.
Then after that, I go point guard. I think those are the two most
Shaq.
important players on the court: point guard and center.
Okay, what if you?
But what about the just hack a Shaq? Like you can just you could just foul him and send him to the free throw line every time and just totally disrupt your team.
Okay, and how long did Shaq play? How many championships does he have? Is he the greatest center of all time? Come on. They tried it.
I hear you, but like his teams would have suffered a lot more if he didn't have Kobe Bryant for 3 of them and Dwayne Wade for 1. And
then Tim Hardaway, but Anthony Hardaway. Yeah, Penny. He had good point. He had good guards. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna go center first, and then I'm gonna go guard second. And most likely it's going to be my point guard. And if I was going to pick a point guard of all time, I'm picking Tony Parker. Can you
Cedric is the only Owen Warner that keeps hitting the table, by the way.
Oh, my bad.
Just going to throw that out there. Just going to throw that out there for the fans.
Tony Parker is one of my favorite point guards. He's going to play defense. He's a pass-first type of guy, and he gets to the rim and he finish. He's a true point guard. Yeah. Who would you pick?
Parker.
Who would you pick all time? Point guard.
Nash.
No, yeah, that's not a bad one.
That is not a bad
That's not
pick.
a bad one at all. But he doesn't play defense.
But what about?
He didn't have to.
Yeah, he kind of.
I was gonna say Magic, but Magic wasn't really a true point.
Nah, honestly, I'd probably go first overall. I'd go Larry Bird. He career averaged the 50, 40, 90. It's like only him and Dirk and Steve Nash.
Yeah.
Are like 3 of 5 players ever to average 50% from the field, 40 from 3, 90 from the free throw line. And he's a pretty good passer. And he's a good defender.
Yeah. That's not a bad pick. I don't know if I...
Because you can play him at the 3 or the 4. You can stretch it if you need to.
But like I said, my forward never come out to the 3-point line. Ever. If I ever seen him out there, I'm kicking him off the team. You're done. You're finished.
And your center's definitely not shooting.
No. You know what?
So you want like a Ben Wallace center?
No, but Ben Wallace could step out. Ben was the one who.
Rashid could. Rashid was stepping out.
No. But Ben was the one who did that. That's why they beat the Lakers, because they took Shaq out of the paint. Shaq wasn't out there getting rebounds anymore because Ben was sitting here shooting mid-range shots. Shaq never seen anything like it. And then Yao Ming came in and turned the world on his ear, because he's what was he, like 7 what?
6, I think.
7 something. He was up there. And he was sitting here shooting mid-range. He was shooting shots from right inside the 3-point line and making them like it was nothing.
Yeah.
His fadeaway was something else. And you got Shaq all the way out there. He was a fish out of water.
But but so you'd still pick Shaq first overall?
Number 1. Because again, those.
What if you had like your center and your power forward can shoot threes? Like, doesn't that make Shaq like a huge liability on defense?
How many rings does Shaq have?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of.
We can't go to rings though, man.
It's kind of one of those things that. It kind of points to you being a '90s NBA fan, though, because you were complaining about how no one drives the lane, and the perfect thing for Shaq is he stops
Robert
people
Horry
from
has
driving
more
the lane.
rings than Shaq.
Robert Horry does, and I like you now because
Okay, yeah.
I have the same argument about that shit, because they're like, oh well, Kobe has 5 rings, da da da, and I'm like, well, Robert Horry has like what, 11?
Yeah.
Something like that. That's so crazy to me. And he's like won game winners in like almost half of them.
Yeah.
Like when he was with Houston, when he was with San Antonio, when he was the Lakers. Didn't he go back to Houston?
Yeah, no, he pretty much went to all every time a team got good, he just so happened to be there right when they were.
And he's like, and he would sit on the bench all game, and it would be like, all right, 30 seconds left. Where's Robert at? He's in the bathroom. All right, call timeout. Wait for him to get back. He's like jogging back, like, oh shit.
Those are some good Spur teams, though. Like
Man.
Bruce Bowen and Robert Horry.
My favorite.
That's some good.
With Tony Parker and Ginobili.
Yeah, I like Tony. I just couldn't imagine picking him over any other point guard in
Chris
NBA
Paul?
Any
history.
other?
Chris
No,
Paul?
I wouldn't do Chris Paul at all.
Who you grabbing?
All time?
Yeah.
Probably Steph.
He doesn't play defense.
I know, but I don't need him to.
Like, they don't
That's
play
a solid
defense.
argument.
I know, I know, but nobody pulls up from the dribble from like 38 feet and drains it like Steph. Like I don't. He didn't even have
He's
to
a
have the
pure
ball,
shooter.
but him being there, like.
How many shots a day do you think
D
he
Fish
puts
has
up?
5 rings too.
Yeah, and I like Derek Fisher as a point guard also. He was probably one of my favorite to watch.
But
He
he
was-
really
he
played
was a
more
true
of like
point.
an off guard. Like Kobe always had the ball in his hands. And
Yeah.
Fisher just hung out on the wing, like waiting to drain a big three.
Yeah, that too, but he will also he'll bring it up the court too and
Yeah.
facilitate.
He played pretty sound defense too.
Yeah, and do you?
I mean, it
and
was
you-
the triangle.
And you know Tony
Yeah.
Parker calls the plays. He calls like fourth quarter like game winning stuff shit. Tony
Yeah.
Parker does that. Why wouldn't you want that guy on the court with you? Why wouldn't I want that on my court? Like I don't even have to do any work. I've seen like Popovich calls a timeout. Tony Parker walks over and he hands Popovich hands the clipboard to Tony, and Tony goes like this. This is what we're gonna do. Boom, threes, Kawhi
They
winner,
win.
and they win. That's crazy. Why wouldn't I want that on my court?
Yeah.
You know who was another one all time? Jason Kidd, the man, the man.
Oh, you about to say Jason Williams?
No, he didn't make it. Oh, Jason Williams. I'm thinking about there's so many Jason Williams in basketball, which is crazy. But yeah,
For the Heat.
yeah, he played out in Sacramento at first. Yeah, he was a man. That Sacramento team was something else too. You have what? Mike Bibby,
Chris Webber.
Stojakovic. Who's the Divac was on that team too. Then you have Brad Miller on there. Man, I love that. That was the golden age of basketball. Never again.
Do you think getting rid of the one and done in the NBA is going to influence the amount of scandal in the NCAA level? Because a lot of it's to get those one and done players.
Oh, so you're saying like people getting paid to stay in college or what?
I don't think that's part of this. No, I mean, if the NBA gets away with the one and done, do you think the NCAA would be more or less ruthless when it comes to?
What do you mean gets away with it? They've
They-
been
they-
getting away with it.
I know. That's why, that's why they're not getting away with it now as much. The fucking FBI's after them.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying?
But I'm saying if the one and done is is gotten away with. Like if the NBA goes to, like Sean was saying, was going to the farming system and all that stuff, getting going down.
Oh, you think? Are you saying that you're thinking that
If the NBA does it, if they get rid of the one and done,
Yeah.
so that you don't have to do the college thing anymore.
Oh, you can go straight from high school.
Yeah,
Well, they had it
into the
that way
farming
for a
system.
long time and had a lot of really good players straight from high school. Like I don't think in the NFL you can make the argument like you're not big enough, you'd get crushed at the pro level. It's for your own good. Like high school, like
There's
Garnett, Dwight Howard, LeBron, Kobe, Tracy McGrady.
Absolutely.
I mean,
No one right now is coming out of high school playing ball in
At the same time,
NBA.
though, we get Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard
because
was
of
one of the ones that came out of
AAU.
high school.
Because of AAU, the way it's everything's such run and gun and stuff like that in high school basketball now. No high schooler will ever be able to come out of high school right now and ball in the NBA. I don't believe it. Not one. I don't believe one right now. Back in the day when it was such a different game and it was more fundamentals and you actually had to work on passing, you had to work on shooting, you had to work on ball handling and stuff like that. Defense was a huge thing, instead of putting up who can put up let's throw some alley-oops and shoot some threes. Before it became that, like you actually had to be able to ball,
Do you think Alonzo's gonna be
No.
pretty good right away?
No. What,
No?
in college?
No, in NBA.
No.
I mean, I know he spent a year at UCLA, but I feel like he's probably the same player he was before he went in.
Yeah. The whole
You say he didn't grow at all.
I
His
think
1 year in college.
I think
College basketball is just such a
watered
it's
down.
like a different sport. It really is.
I feel like college basketball used to be really tough. I feel like
Yeah.
you used to have your best fighters in college basketball. Like the best games. Like I don't know if you guys remember that ACC championship, Maryland versus Duke back in like 2002, 2003 or something like that. Around that time, Chris Duhon for Duke Blue Devils. I hate Duke. I think just as much as I hate Dallas, maybe even more.
Just, I mean, as far as all, like, blanket sports-wise as a school,
Yeah.
not specifically any...
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, fuck Duke.
it seems like you don't like the establishment.
No, I don't like fucking Duke.
Okay.
No,
Chris Duhon.
But Chris Duhon, he blew me away. He broke a rib in that game because he went to the rim, got checked in the air, and landed on top of a guy with a camera, and he landed on top of the camera. Broke his rib, came back and played one of the best games. Like, I'm giving this compliment, and I do not like Duke. So he played one of the best basketball games ever. Like, he had heart. That was struggle right there. You know what I'm saying? Now you get these guys who's had shoe deals since they were like 14 years old, and kind of getting ushered into these colleges and stuff like that, who's kind of been having like this shit kind of given to them at this point.
So you think it has nothing to do with the NBA and the one and done? It has everything to do with the
AAU.
Yeah.
AAU did it.
The AAU did it. If you're wondering what happened to the NBA, the AAU did it.
I'm telling you.
NCAA basketball, AAU
Kobe
did
said
it.
it. Kobe said there's no one's coming into the league or college anymore with fundamentals. And then you get like coaches like the guys out there and whoever the coaches out there in Kentucky and the coaches in Louisville and stuff like that, and they let their boys go out there and just. I don't think I've ever seen. This is Calipari out there in Kentucky.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen him call a play.
Yeah.
He puts the ball out there and lets the boys play, and that's it. And they run and gun. They win, and it's a winning thing. And then you're dumping these guys into the NBA, and then it's just like.
But the NBA is kind of becoming that way, though, right? So
Because that's the type of players you're getting from college.
yeah.
So
And it
like
starts-
slowly
But it's
pouring
because of the AAU. The AAU
It
did it.
starts right
in.
there.
AAU.
It starts right there.
Fill me up, buttercup, baby, just to let me down. Unless me